Hello and welcome to a new video. My name is Herwig and today we discuss how to reduce environmental stress cracking. I'll give you some tips for plastic part design and polymer material selection. Okay, let us get started. So first, environmental stress cracking, or in short ESCR. What is it about? So when we expose plastic parts to chemicals while they are under certain stress level, this can result in stress cracking. And in general, environmental stress cracking describes the chemical reaction in the presence of the stress, which I will show you then in the next slide. So when you think of all the causes why plastic parts fail, environmental stress cracking is quite leading the plastic part failure with among 30% of all cases. So this is the reason why it is essential to consider environmental stress cracking in the early phase of the designing of the part. And when we look now here on the right side, you can see a degradation from prolonged exposure to gasoline, this part, and it starts really in the micro scale and then goes into really visible range, this stress cracking. So what is now the mechanism of environmental stress cracking? So we have our part surface, polymer part surface, and it is exposed to certain fluid, and we have already a small defect on the surface or a little notch, and this allows also the fluid to get into the part, and especially at the end we have some stress filter concentration. And when you look at the next phase, it is really, the area is really has lots of power for penetration. So in combination fluid with the stress and the defect, it starts to graze. So you can see that it's really these grazes, and with transparent polymers such as polycarbonate or with polystyrene, you can see that immediately when you think of polystyrene coffee cups. After a certain amount of time, they get these grazes, so visible cracks, and so what these grazes initiate is that we have again a stress field concentration, and then with the notch effect, the whole defect gets bigger, and together with the fluid, this accelerates the whole reaction then. So now it's of course also important how to analyze environmental stress cracking. So when you have injection molded parts, they can be stress analyzed, and it's interesting to know the level of molded in or residual stress what we have in the parts. And I have here 3 polymer examples. For example, when you have a ABS, you can make a acetic acid immersion test according ASTM D1939, and when you have a PVC, you can make a acetone immersion test according ASTM D2152, and with polycarbonate you can make a solvent stress analysis, and there's also the so-called G plastic test method T77, which you can find still all in the literature to make. So now the key question is how to reduce environmental stress cracking. So the good thing is there are several ways to effectively influence the stress cracking process. So first is the base polymer. When you know the final plastic part is exposed to harsh chemicals, which we know, and temperature, for example, you can already select, instead of a polycarbonate, you can go to a polyphenylene, a sulfone type, to adhere a more robust base polymer. Then the part design is the second what we can influence, so avoid the corners, for example. Needs to be really properly designed, and that you have no sharp edges or corners which can have this notch effect. Then the consideration of chemicals in the part system, so maybe instead of one oil you can use the other oil, which is not so harsh towards the base polymer. And also proper processing, that you take care that we have not these in-mold stresses, residual stresses, that the crystallization is good with semi-crystalline polymers, and so on. So these are 4 good ways to already prevent this in an effective way. And a good way to memorize it is with a triangle. When you say environment, stress, and chemicals, and so to reduce the risk of stress cracking is done by removing or reducing one or more legs of this environmental stress cracking triangle. So this is a good way also how I remember it, that you just take care. I know it's not always possible to reduce or to influence all the 3 areas, but when you manage already 1, 2, this already helps a lot and elongate the lifetime of your plastic part. Okay, that was it for today. I would like to thank you for watching, and till next time. Bye.